didn't put this slide up to be like I'm the coolest guy, but I do want to show that I am qualified to talk a little bit about firearms today.
I have a gun on my side right here. Just this week, at the beginning of the week, a young boy, not even 16 years old, was killed because he was playing with a gun. And see, this is an unloaded gun. Right here, Mr. Cup. No, empty weapon. Empty weapon. This is a Glock 40. 50 Cent, Too Short, all of them talk about Glock 40. Okay, I'm the only one in this room professional enough that I know of to carry this Glock 40. I'm the only one. No more. Is everybody all right? You all right? No, that's it. Whoa. I got it. Yeah. I had an AD. Yeah, I'm here. Listen up, guys. But listen up. And I made a mistake. So listen to me. Guys, listen to me. Yeah, listen to me. See that how the accident happened? It can happen to you and you can be blown away. Okay? So guys, never play with guns. See how accidents happen? They happen. Okay, now I'll probably never ever be able to show guns again. But Brian, bring that other gun out, Brian. Yeah. Brian. Yeah, Brian, see that right there. See that right there. Brian. I think he called it right now. Bring that other gun out. Hey, see this gun right here, guys? Listen. See this gun? Look. Hey, hold on. It's empty. It's an empty weapon, guys. Don't listen.
Okay, I put that slide up there for a couple reasons, but the biggest one is I don't want to have this, I'm the firearm instructor, you're the student, you shut up and listen to me, right? If you want to deal with a firearm, you need to be professional enough to deal with a firearm, and anybody can do that, it just takes training. All right, now, we're not giving any kind of certificate for this. I just wanted to give a little overview about firearms for safety. If you really are enthused about firearms, I would suggest that you go out and find you a reputable instructor and get some hands-on one-on-one training. Okay, now what we're going to talk about today is just the parts of handguns, both semi-automatics and revolvers, and a little bit about how they function. Okay? All right, now basically the way that they differentiate between revolvers and semi-automatics is how they function. A revolver has several firing chambers that revolve inside the gun. A semi-automatic only has one chamber. Okay, and it's important to know that the chamber is where the round is when it actually goes off. Okay, now when you talk about single or double action guns, that just talks about what the trigger does. If it cocks and fires the gun, then it does two things, hence it's double action. If you have to cock the hammer, with your thumb, and all the trigger does is activate the hammer, then it's single action. All right, now revolvers have three main parts. They have barrel, they have a frame, and they have an action. Now, for legal purposes, the frame is the gun. The frame is the part of the firearm that everything else bolts to. The rear sight, the grip, everything bolts to the frame. All right, the barrel is the metal tube that the bullet passes through. And we want a rifled barrel because that makes the firearm more accurate. And so cut into the barrel, you have some machining called lands and grooves. Okay? The grooves are the low spot of the barrel. It's what's cut into the bore. So it's a groove. The land is the high spot. Okay? And they standardize measurement of the barrel from land to land across the diameter of the gun. All right, the action is all the parts used to load, unload, fire the handgun, okay? The trigger, the hammer, the cylinder release, they're all part of a revolver's action, okay? And all this stuff is the moving parts. All of it together makes the action. You know, each part of the action has its own job. You know, the trigger activates the hammer. If it's a double action gun, it's going to advance the cylinder. You know, the cylinder holds the ammunition in each individual firing chamber. Cylinder release unlocks it. So each of these parts have their own job, but they're all part of the action. Okay, semi-automatics are just like revolvers in that they still have a frame, they still have a barrel, and they still have an action. The frame on a semi-automatic is still the piece that everything else bolts to, okay? But unlike a revolver, typically they have things like slide stops and additional safeties. And I want to tell you about safeties. Safeties are mechanical devices. They fail, they break. Do not rely on a safety to protect you from poor handling skills. Matter of fact, just a couple weeks ago, a Navy SEAL killed himself in a bar showing, you know, how safe his gun was. He activated the safety, put the gun to his head, pulled the trigger, and the safety broke, okay? Anything made by man can break. Okay, a semi-automatic is just a little bit different from a revolver in that the round is inside the barrel when it goes off. So the breech end of the barrel has some machining to fit the bullet, and that is the chamber. So a semi-automatic only has one chamber inside the barrel. All right, semi-automatic action still has the trigger, still has hammer, but it's got a slide that moves back and forth on the frame in order to pick up rounds and put them into the chamber. It usually has a magazine, which is a device used to hold the cartridges, and a magazine release to let the magazine fall free when it's empty. All right, the slide is a key portion of a semi-automatic because it extracts the empty case from the chamber and ejects it out of the pistol. Most guns, it's going to cock the hammer to let you have a follow-up shot, and then it's going to reload the chamber from the magazine, okay? Now, slides function automatically each time you pull the trigger, and here's a demonstration of this. If you could just hold this trigger back and this gun would fire over and over and over, it would be a fully automatic, okay? But since it only fires one time for each round, semi-automatic. Since none of us want a 2-week video, I had to kind of cut this a little bit short, but basically each firearm manufacturer has some different marketing points, different ways their firearms function, and you need to familiarize yourself with the gun that you have. And if you're looking for a gun, try to figure out what you need and then apply that to a gun. Don't buy something just because it looks cool in the magazine. Okay, now in class, this portion would have taken about 2 or 3 hours, so we kind of cut it short. But basically, just want you to know that revolvers have multiple chambers, semi-automatics have a single chamber, and the chamber is where the round is when it goes off. All firearms are going to have a barrel, a frame, and an action, and the action is the group of parts together that load, unload, fire the firearm, okay? I appreciate y'all taking the time to watch this video. Please let me know if there's stuff we can do to kind of help you. The more that you comment, the more that you interact, the better we're able to customize these videos to what you need.